First of all, many thanks to the Embassy for organizing this nice afternoon. Many thanks to Gabriele and to the National Gallery for taking such good care of our dream project. To take Sorolla to London, to the National Gallery, was thought from our side as a very, maybe too ambitious project. But really, I have a very strong faith in Sorolla. He was, in his life, he was a winner. He always pleased everybody, and I have just told Gabriele about the Sorolla effect that I notice every day at the museum, that people who come to the museum without the previous knowledge of the Sorolla's painting, about his house in Madrid, when arrives, always says, how come I didn't know this? This is something everybody should be aware of, everybody should know and enjoy. So since I arrived as director to the Sorolla Museum 10 years ago, I had one idea in my mind, is to restore Sorolla to the position he had in his lifetime. He was enormously popular, well-known, of course in Spain, but also in the States, and also in France, and also in Italy in his times. He became rich just with his painting. He was a very modest origin. He was a self-made man, absolutely. And it's very rewarding to see how an artist is able to live very well with his art and to get the success he deserves. And well, it was really my main ambition to get from the direction of the museum. And when Blanca and I came to London to propose this project, and we find these open arts from the National Gallery, we were really enormously happy. And thanks again to Gabriele and to Christopher, who had the idea to make the big show, that I think it was a very good idea to say. So, I should talk about the Museo Sorolla in the 21st century. I mean, we are already there, but in the future. But first of all, I would like to talk for all the people who have never been to the Sorolla Museum and doesn't know this house and this collection, to explain something about what is the Sorolla Museum now and what it has inside. The museum is a small house museum in a very good neighborhood in Madrid, and it was the house where Sorolla lived the last 10 years of his life. He had the house built for him, to have his studios and his living rooms all together. This was an important ambition for him, to have the working place and the family place and the garden all together. And when, after the exhibition in New York, in the Hispanic Society, he had sufficient security, economical security to get his house built, and he began to do this. Nowadays is one of the most nice house museums in Madrid, and I would say all over the world. Why not to say it? And in fact, we owe this museum to Sorolla's wife. When Sorolla died in 1923, his wife had a very clear idea that Sorolla deserved a museum of his own. Probably they have talked about this before. Probably this was a family idea, not only the idea of Clotilde, the wife. But the fact is that Sorolla had a severe stroke at the age of 57 years, and he had no intention at all of dying or dead, so he never wrote a last will. So it was his wife who had the intention and the will, the very strong will to create the museum, and she donated the house with all the collections inside, all the collections that belonged to her, because of course the children would receive their part. No? So in the rest of her life, Clotilde took care of this. She would die in 1929, and in these 6 years she created the museum. And it was after her, it was their son, also called Joaquin, like Sorolla, who took her to arrive to the opening of the museum, who took place in 1932, and it was opened with enormous solemnity. The museum began to be created during the monarchy of Alfonso XIII, and was opened during the Republic. It was a very well received and very commended opening in all the press of the time. For all the people that doesn't know the museum in actuality, the house that Clotilde left to the state is a very nice house in a very eclectic place arranged. It was built by a rather important architect in that time, from Valencia, like Sorolla. This is the entrance. This is the salon. As you can see, it's rather bourgeois. The house is very, very. I can't find the exact adjective in English, but it's very carefully decorated personally by Sorolla. He was, in fact, he was a very rather dominant character. He would decide every detail of the decoration, as he would decide every detail on his wife's dresses, for instance, and hats and so on. He was very dominant. This is the salon. It's decorated, as you can see, with family portraits. The portraits in the walls are Clotilde and Maria, with portrait which is now in the exhibition, and a portrait of the only son of Sorolla, the only male son, Sorolla Joaquin, and some sculptures by his daughter Elena. And the furniture, I will talk about the furniture slightly later, is not important furniture. It's just Sorolla eclectic taste that mix popular with historic styles, with I see with very, very bold intention, mixing everything. And we arrived to the first room of the museum, the room that the visitors find in the first place. Is a kind of introduction to Sorolla. We took advantage of the fact that this room had never a special decoration, because in Sorolla's time it was devoted just to keep the canvases and materials and let's say the dirty work of the production of the paintings. And we have this, what I call the welcome committee with Clotilde, the founder of the museum, a portrait of Sorolla, and a portrait of the three children that is also on the exhibition now. No? And we have some explanations about the house, about the history of the Sorolla painting, and so on, in some vitrines in the middle of the room. But this room has, as I say, no decoration, no no furniture. It's just a conventional presentation of museum, painting museum. With the second room, we already enter the house, the house museum. That is preserved practically as it was in Sorolla's time. We have the luck of having a very good collection of photographs of Sorolla's time, with photos of the rooms like they were in Sorolla's times. Well, the rooms were changing over time. Sorolla would paint and sell and paint new paintings and hang and change the hanging of the paintings, but more or less the main pieces of the furniture are always the same, and it's very much like Sorolla had the house then. No? This is the second room. Some years ago was devoted to sea and beach themes. Now it has family portraits, but the walls change, but the furniture is always the same. The studio of Sorolla is really the heart of the house. It's the biggest room, and it contains an enormous quantity of painting and other objects. It's really the room where the presence of Sorolla is really very strongly felt. We have there his brushes and the palettes and the colors and things like that, and all these paintings. Sorolla made an arrangement of his studio much more dense than it's now. It was all the walls were covered with hangings, and the floor with carpets, and all these textiles now have disappeared. No, but we have preserved this way of presentation of the paintings very dense. Even it's not as dense as it was, because in Sorolla times the paintings were just one against the other. All the walls were entirely covered with painting. Sorolla, we used this room like a showing room, like an exhibition, permanent exhibition to sell to the clients and to show his work. There are all kinds of different things. This is, I think everybody knows, it's very common in Sorolla's time. The painters' studios were full of objects of art, of all kinds of things. And then there is the garden. The garden is a small jewel in the middle of Madrid. I think we all must be very grateful to the founder that she had this decision to keep the house and to keep the collection, because in fact very few of this kind of hotel particulier survive in Madrid. In Sorolla's time, there were a lot of this kind of houses with garden in this neighborhood, but now they have almost all disappeared. And in fact, the museum is among tall buildings that take out the sun that in Sorolla's time made the garden flower in a very exuberant way. Today it's a very difficult work to keep the garden flowering and green and so on. This is the first garden, the one that the visitor finds when enter the museum, and it is directly inspired in the Alcázar of Seville, in one of the small gardens of the Alcázar of Seville. All the garden is decorated in a very Andalusian way, with many colored tiles and very many permanent greenery, so that all along the winter the garden always has some green and some color, thanks to the tiles. and the water. This is a very important presence in the garden. It's something that Sorolla loved when he knew the Andalusian gardens, the Alcázar of Seville and the Alhambra in Granada, and the presence in the fountains, the continuous presence and the rumor of water impressed him a lot, and he decided to replicate this effect in his garden. This is the second garden, and it is made in clear imitation of the gardens of the Alhambra in Granada, with this small river and the sunken fountain, what is very characteristic, and the jets of water, and the presence of flowers in pots is a very Andalusian characteristic, and he imitates it very strongly. Something he liked, this is curious, something he liked very much in the Andalusian garden is that they were paved, with tiles. And he wrote to his wife when he first went to the Alhambra and told her, "You would like these gardens because you don't get your shoes dirty." He took it very civilized, and the vegetation is very controlled, very well controlled by the architecture, and in a very formal way, and always this presence of water and flowers. And then this is the third garden. The third garden has no particular model, is very much the creation of Sorolla, only I think he inspired himself in the alberca of the Alcázar of Seville. The presence of water is here more important. And this is the darkest part of the garden, and probably Sorolla wanted to have a sheet of water to reflect the light. This was very important for him, to have light all over. And something he also loved was the effects of reflections on the water. This effect, he always was fond of painting, and he was always intrigued by these effects. And then this is the Andalusian patio. He absolutely wanted an Andalusian patio in his house, and he took the tiles from Seville, and also the fountain replicates a model of the Alcázar in Seville. So he was very faithful to Andalusian style all over. You see the ironworks, very typical of the Andalusian architecture. And then the museum collections. First of all, the collection of painting. The museum has around 1,300 pieces of painting. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but it's a very, very important collection. And this allows us to be generous lenders to exhibitions, because in fact, we always can maintain the walls well covered with good pieces. In fact, we were afraid to receive some complaints from people who come now to the museum when really most of the main paintings of the museum are here, and we thought we are going to have some, but not. No. In fact, the museum, if you know that this should be here and that should be there, if you know it, you can miss them. But if you don't know, well, the walls are very, very well covered. Nobody would say that the main pieces are outside. This is again the studio, another view of the studio. And this is the part of the museum where the most important part of the collection is shown. But we also have the drawings. We have a very, very important collection of drawings by Sorolla. There are more than 5,000 pieces. This has been a very long process to make the catalogue of the drawings, which, by the way, Monica has worked in the catalogue for some years together with another colleague, and they have the excellent work of the catalogue of all these pieces. that are now absolutely catalogued and accessible through the web or photographed, and they can be seen all in the web, in the museum web. Many of these pieces are just working drawings. Sometimes they are very light drawings, 2-3 lines, preparations for bigger works, or just light impression of what he had in front of him. Sometimes they are very intimate. For instance, to the left, you can see Clotilde and the children playing to make shadows on the wall. No, things like that are very. We often find them in the collection. And some drawings are more formal drawings. This one is a preparatory drawing for one of the portraits you have in the exhibition. This is back posture. In the final version, Clotilde is in front. But I find particularly gracious this silhouette with this contrapposto on the wheel of the skirt. And Sorolla very rarely made drawings, to be framed. This is not something he often made. Then we have the sculpture collection. Sorolla was very fond of sculpture, and he bought a lot of sculpture in antiquaries. We have from antiquity some pieces from Paleo-Christian times or Romans, not important pieces, but we have some very nice medieval and Renaissance pieces, like the Virgin in the right, what is a German origin, and an important part of the collection is from Sorolla's time. To the left, you have a sculpture by the Prince Trubetskoy. This Russian prince was a very social, high society sculptor, and she is a ballerina of the time, Mademoiselle Sbirsky. There's a lot of pieces, and most of them are shown in the rooms of the museum. Then we have the ceramics. He was very fond of ceramics. He would buy in great quantities, not always with a great attention to quality or to exceptional pieces. He just wanted to decorate the house with popular things, particularly during his travels around Spain to paint the visions of Spain for the Spanish society. He had the occasion to buy in all different regions. This is a side of the patio, entirely decorated with these ceramic pieces. Some of them are good. A small part of the collection is really good, but in general they are popular, colorful pieces. Then the furniture. Like I told before, the furniture is not important. We don't have important historical pieces. Sorolla would buy 19th century imitation of historical styles and popular furniture, and he would mix them with not restrictive criterion, but with the grace, with the easiness of the artist is able to have. The nice lamp is by Tiffany's of New York, for instance. There are some pieces like that. And the jewelry collection is a popular jewelry. He bought it for when he was going around Spain. It's always a complement of the popular dresses. He also bought to paint the popular costumes. No se me oye. Sorry, sorry. I tend to go away. But it's very impressive when it's seen together with the dresses. Very massive well, this kind of jewelry was what the women took to marriage as their personal dotation. And the other collection is the popular dresses. This is a rather important collection, in fact, because Sorolla gathered all this collection in a date when the collection of dresses and old styles had not begun in Spain. So he made this collection around 1912, from 1912 to 1920. And the serious collection of popular and historical dresses in Spain began around 1925. So some of the pieces he collected are not in another collection because they didn't exist anymore. They were very quickly disappearing when Sorolla collected them. And also the document collection is very important because we have all the correspondence of Sorolla. All the letters he wrote to his family were carefully kept by Clotilde. And also all the letters Sorolla would receive from friends, writers, painters, and so on, are carefully kept at the museum. Nowadays, all this correspondence is catalogued, and still they are not directly accessible through the web because of problems of author rights and things like that. That makes it delicate, but can be seen at the museum. The letters from Sorolla are always very interesting. They are a very enormous collection. He would write, when he was abroad, he would write home once or twice a day. So he was continuously in touch with the family, and the information that these letters give on Sorolla's way of working, his impression, what he was thinking when he was painting, sometimes is awfully interesting, very, very impressive, very direct impressions. For instance, this letter, in this letter he's telling his wife that he has found a very nice fountain for the first garden, what he draws, and then he says, well, I feel old, I'm very old, I'm very tired, and he was really not so old, to tell the truth. And some of the letters are very intimate. Then we have the photograph collection, over 7,000 items. There are family photographs, photographs Sorolla collected from other authors, and also other documents on the house with plans and photographs that allow us to know how was really the house Sorolla's time. And the most interesting thing about the document collection is the way collections are related. For instance, in this case, we have the painting, we have the dresses, we have the jewels, and we also have photos of Sorolla painting, photos of the models, letters where Sorolla is telling his family his impressions about what he's seeing in all these places. Our priority has been to preserve the house like Sorolla, he himself said. I would like that my house in the present looks like a museum, and I would like that if in the future it becomes a museum, should look like a house. So this is our lemma, our motto, to preserve the relationship among the collection and the house. As the house is a small, well, it's a big house, but it's smaller as a museum, we have some structural problems. Of course, it's a small to accommodate. We have doubled, more than doubled the number of visitors in these last years. we don't have spaces, specific spaces for activities. We don't have spaces specific for temporary exhibition. No restoration workshop. Insufficient storage space. We don't have an auditorium and so on. We do as we can, and the garden is very useful. Only in half of the year we have, for instance, flower arrangements, workshops of painting lessons or so on. But we really need a space. We make the concerts in the first room, what gives me a very strong suffering. I'm always worried about the paintings. This is the Christmas concert. And well, the solutions will come with the enlargement of the museum, what is already begun. The project is being brought now, and we hope that it will be a question of maybe 3 years or so. With the Spanish administration, we never know, but there is the horizon is closer now. You can see here. What is the point? Okay. This is the museum now, and this will be the enlargement. There is a contact in the wall, and then in the enlargement part we will have a double space than we have now, and we have a space for activities. We will have an auditorium. We will have a proper restoration shop. And we will have something else. We will have the possibility to show other painters than Sorolla, to make exhibitions on context of Sorolla, what we cannot do now because of the last will of Clotilde that says that the building has to be devoted exclusively to Sorolla's painting. So we cannot now make comparisons, context, and so on. We always talk about Sorolla, and I think it has been very well for some years, but I think we begin to need some more ample view. This is the museum now, and this will be in the future. So we will have here the connection, here, and we will have a new courtyard, temporary exhibition rooms, restoration workshops, storage for collections, auditorium, and more toilets and lobbies and so on. A loading dock that we don't have now is really some acrobatic thing to move the pieces around the museum now. There will be more spaces for needs, for security, for the personnel, and so on. And we will have a very nice and sunny workshop mainly for children, but also for adults. This is the look that the new wing will have, very modern, contemporary look, but it's in a way imitating the form of the studios. Well, this is our main aim for the future, but we have begun to restore Sorolla to the right position we should have. And that's it. Thank you so much.